Welcome to Ancient Word, where God's Word comes alive, chapter by chapter for every heart and every home. Before there was light, before oceans, trees, time, or even stars, there was only one thing, God. No noise, no shape, no color, just the Spirit of God, hovering over deep, empty waters. And then God spoke, "Let there be light." And there was light, pure, powerful, radiant. Light that cut through darkness and gave the world its first morning. God saw the light, and He called it good. Day 1. On the second day, God spoke again. He separated the waters above from the waters below, and stretched out the sky like a canvas. He called it the heavens. Blue, vast, open. Day 2. On day 3, the waters below gathered into one place, and dry land appeared. God named the land earth and the waters seas. Then He made the land come alive. Grass, trees, flowers, fruits in every shape and color, seeds that would grow and grow again. God looked at the earth bursting into life, and He smiled. It was good. Day 3. On day 4, God set lights in the sky, the sun to shine by day, the moon to glow by night, and stars. Too many to count. They marked time, days, seasons, and years. But more than that, they gave wonder to the night. Day 4. On day 5, the world filled with motion. The ocean swirled with fish, tiny and great. The skies fluttered with birds, wings flapping, songs rising. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the waters, fill the skies." Life was no longer still. It was swimming, flying, flourishing. Day 5. On day 6, God created creatures for the earth, lions, elephants, rabbits, lizards, every kind, wild and tame. And then God paused, because He was about to create something different, not just from the earth, but in His image. God formed a man and a woman, with thought, with care, with love. He breathed life into them, and just like that, humanity began, not to rule with cruelty, but to care, to steward, to reflect the Creator. "Be fruitful," God said. "Multiply, fill the earth, care for it." And God saw everything He had made, the light, the land, the sky, the sea, the stars, the life. And He said, "It is very good." Not just beautiful, not just working, but deeply good. Day 6. On the seventh day God rested, not because He was tired, but because His work was finished. Creation wasn't rushed, it was intentional, spoken, formed, loved, and you are still part of that creation, part of that design, formed in His image, spoken into existence by the same Word. This is Genesis chapter 1, the beginning of everything. A story not just about the world, but about who made it, and why you matter. This is God's Word, chapter by chapter, for every heart and every home. Imagine a world not just made, but lovingly formed, not built in a rush, but crafted with care. This is Genesis chapter 2, where the story slows down and heaven comes close. The earth was ready, the soil rich, the skies open, the rivers flowing. But someone was missing. So God did something personal. He bent down to the ground, and with His own hands He formed a man from the dust, not just spoken into existence, formed. Then He breathed into him, not just air, but life, purpose, soul. The man woke to a world made just for him. God planted a garden in a place called Eden, which means delight. Not just a home, but a sanctuary, a place of beauty, peace, and purpose. There were trees for food, rivers for life, and at the center, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And in this place, God walked with man, not from a distance, but side by side. God gave the man a job to care for the garden, to name the animals, to work and protect what was entrusted to him. But something was still missing. God looked at the man and said, "It's not good for man to be alone." So God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and from his side he formed a woman, not from the ground this time, but from his own body, his own heart.
Not above him, not beneath him, beside him. At last, this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. And together they were whole, they were free, they were known, and they were not ashamed. This was the first home, the first relationship, the first purpose. A garden, a breath, a love story.
Before the rules, before the pain, there was connection, intimacy, peace. And it all began with a God who didn't just create from a distance, but stepped into the dust and brought it to life. This is Genesis chapter 2, where heaven touched earth and God made a home for the heart. This is God's Word, chapter by chapter for every heart and every home.